Don't have any injuries for you. So a good all-around win. I thought every phase did a nice job and played well. There's a good focus amongst the team. I thought our defense really did a great job on third downs, in particular in the red zone, and held them to field goals, which ended up being big for us. And then really turned up the gas the second half. And then the offense was able to move the ball well in the air. And it's funny because we have this whole RPO thing on some of those runs where they end up being throws, but we just counted as yards. And so I thought it was a nice job by Patrick. Again, he had complete command of everything going on, including the check at the end. And they were in a blitz look and hit by Reid on a big touchdown. So just both sides of the ball, both lines, I thought did a nice job. I think that Jets defensive front is a really good front. Greg Williams, experienced defensive coordinator, that gives you a lot of different looks. And I was proud of how those big guys handled it on both sides of the ball. So a lot of good work there. And then we were able to get some young guys in also for with some work. All right, with that, time, George.
Go first to Herbie T.O.P. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon. Obviously, the punt there with Tommy Townsend with the pass to Byron Pringle. What did the Jets do that led you to make that call there that you saw that it could work? And how anxious were you when you saw how high that pass was?
Yeah, well, they've been working on it. I mean, they've been doing it the last 3 weeks, and it's been like clockwork. That one did get a little high. It's different when it's in a game, it's and he's as good a thrower as there is. So he's a real good athlete. He was able to show a little bit of that today. But it's a little different in the game. Next time he does it, it'll be better. Won't be quite as high, but we'll take it right there.
Next to Pete Swing. Good, Pete.
Coach, congrats on the win and game plan. 10 different receivers today, 4 different receivers with touchdowns. Just when you have such talented guys who can do damage with the ball in their hands, how great does that make it for a play caller, play designer?
Yeah, I mean, listen, these guys make that easy, and or as easy as it can be in the NFL. I mean, there's such great competition out here that. But the best thing that I see and like is that they're on the same page. So. They're thinking right along how the coaches are thinking when we're over on the sideline thinking we know everything, right? So they're kind of right in line with it and actually executing it in game time. So it's impressive.
Go next to Sam McDowell. What's that?
Hey, Andy. I wanted to explore more that play that you briefly mentioned, the last touchdown to Tyreek Hill. We could hear just the audio that Patrick did check out of something. Can you tell us what he checked out of and how similar? I mean, was it a running play? And if it was a passing play already, how similar was the route that Tyreek ran to the original play?
If I could tell you, I'd have to make you disappear. No, it was a pass to a pass. I sounded like I was from Philly for about a second there, but don't tell them.
Let's go next to Sam Norton. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. You talked and your coaches too pretty consistently this season about complacency and that being a thing that you guys are guarding against. I'm just wondering has there been a point this season where you've seen complacency and you've had to address it? And just secondarily, I'm wondering what performance like this, no disrespect to the Jets, but performance like this today says in that regard.
Yeah, so listen, coaches are always on guard for all that, and you say it a million times. You're always going to say it. I mean, that's how coaches are wired. So I remind them just that, but I really haven't worried about it with them because these guys are pretty focused. They enjoy playing with each other. And listen, if you're going to be good at the end of the year, you got to take care of business during the year. So every game counts as you go forward, and so it's important that you bear down every week, and that's part of it. I haven't really worried that much about it, no, with them.
Next to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Andy. Every game obviously takes on its own personality, but I think there's a lot of thought that you guys would probably beat the Jets without needing a play like the fake punt. What goes into that kind of decision and trying to seize the game that way?
Yeah, well, listen, you never know in this league. I mean, the parity in this league is ridiculous. Sam Darnold, he gets hot and runs around and makes plays. And if that's going on, and you saw him drive down to the red zone a couple different times. So it's, that's you got to score points. I've been through too many of those where you pull off the accelerator and then, something bad happens. So you're better off just keeping it down and going 4 quarters up.
Got time for a couple more guys. We'll go Todd Lebo and then Darren Smith. Go ahead, Todd.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned those RPOs, and I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago that Patrick was talking about when he was doing the RPOs, it's okay to run it, right? I mean, he always likes to throw it. How much better has he gotten on deciding and seeing exactly what you want him to see and making the right decision as he's come along through this offense? And how hard is it for him, or any quarterback who wants to throw it, to hand it off when they want to throw it?
He was spot on today. I mean, he was seeing and shooting, and he's very accurate with those things, seeing them. And then his throws are good too. So if he pulls it, but at the same time, he's patient with the run part of it. He's got a good feel of the game and what's happening with it down and distance wise, field position, all those things. So full trust in him. Yeah.
Go ahead, Darren Smith. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Coach. The question I have is Dirty Dan Sorensen. The last 2 weeks he's made big plays. How has his play, kind of jumpstart and spark the team? Of course, last week he had a pick six, and today he had the big fumble, caused the big fumble late in the ball game.
Yeah, listen, he's playing good football right now, Darren. I mean, he's flying around, he's making plays. He's just doing, all in all, he's doing a nice job all the way around. He's playing confident, and so it's his 7th year, and I think he feels comfortable back there with the Badger, and they've got good communication amongst them, and the 22. I mean, they're all it's a tight group back there, so he's doing a nice job.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
All right, guys. We've got Tyrann Mathieu coming up next. Okay. Hey, T, you ready for us?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get started with Pete Sweeney first. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Tyrann, congrats on the win. What can you say about this 2-game stretch that Dan Sorensen has had? First the interception last week, and then now the big fumble, and just how far he's come since you've been here.
I tried to tell people last year, guys is so committed, man. Each and every day he's finding a way to, take the coaching and apply it. Not everybody can do that and then play at a fast level. He's communicating at a high level. He's making big time plays for us, game changing plays, momentum, swinging plays, and we expect that from him. He puts in a lot of work throughout the weekend. I believe in him.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Tyrann, I wanted to ask you about the idea of watching Patrick now in year 2 as a teammate. He's halfway through the season. He's only had 1 turnover. Just what impresses you most watching Patrick?
That's funny because I was talking to C Ward before the game. They show the stats on a jumbotron. I was like, 1 interception. Like, I wouldn't want to play against that guy. That guy doesn't turn the ball over. He takes care of the football. He knows how to play the quarterback position. He knows how to make everybody, seem like they're involved in the game plan. And I'm glad he's on my team.
Next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyrann, you're always animated on the field during games, but it felt like you were a little more amped up maybe than normal today. Did you feel like did I read that wrong, or did you feel like maybe the guys needed a little juice going into this particular game today?
Well, it's November. It's December football, January football. I think at this point in the season, we are who we are, as a team. And, so it's all about playing with swagger. It's all about playing with emotions, controlled emotion. And just going out there playing hard as you can for your brothers. But November, December football, I mean, that's the only way you punch a ticket, to play in the postseason. So we got to play our best. We got to feel our best. We got to bring everybody to that level.
Go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Tyron. You're always talking about how this defense needs to finish. You really emphasized that. You guys allowed like 2 first downs in the second half, even though you had a big lead, kept bringing that intensity. How proud were you of your group today for doing that?
Oh, yeah. I think all of us were committed. All of us were focused throughout the whole game, throughout the course of the game. I think Coach Spags did a great job, too, of just staying on top of us, reminding us, even after big plays, this game isn't over. We got a whole another half to play. It's a lot of football left. So I thought our guys took it seriously the whole way through. And that's what you want. You never want to stoop down to the level of any opponent if you feel like you're a better team. So I'm proud of my guys, but it's a lot we could clean up, from that first half.
Connect to Sam Mellinger. What's Sam?
Hey, Tyron. My question is a little bit along those lines. I mean, the coaches have talked a lot this year about complacency. I know you're basically like an extension of them to the players. I'm just wondering what your messaging is along those lines, and specifically, how did you guys get better today, considering the opponent?
Well, like I told the team, it's all about us. It's all about our standard. It's about the way we live, the way we practice, what we're capable of doing. So obviously you put a lot of emphasis into the teams you're playing, but at the end of the day, it's all about us, whether we are going to show up with the right kind of attitude. And, that's been the message as of late, just showing up with the right kind of attitude, because we do put in some great work throughout the week, just believing in that process. And like I said, showing up with an attitude.
Got time for 2 more guys. We'll go Harold and then Mitchell. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Tyron, first things first, Jack, our janitor, says congratulations on the win. Second off, the takeaways. You finally got that takeaway in the second half, kind of leading into what others have talked about, the momentum going forward in the second half. What it meant to get that takeaway, to see Sorensen get that, and just trying to keep that momentum going forward now as you go to the second half of the season. How do you kind of take something that you get from this game, that second half play, going forward?
Well, Coach Spags, showed a clip last night of Kobe Bryant. And, obviously Kobe Bryant is a well-accomplished player. But all Kobe Bryant talked about was getting better, at something. So I think that's really the mindset for us as a defense, is to really pick apart the film, find what it is we can get better at, and then continue to move forward. You mentioned Dan. He's been stepping up big for us, playing some big-time football. And we expect that. We expect Dan to – up the level of everybody around him as well. So I feel like he's one of those guys.
We'll ask Mitchell Summers. Go ahead, Mitchell.
Hey, Tyron, I'm sure you saw that after that last touchdown throw that Pat Mahomes carried off Tyreek Hill. So kind of speaking larger, what does it mean to see the way the team loves being around each other and celebrating?
I mean, you don't always have that in the NFL. A lot of guys come to work and go their separate ways. I feel like this is a different locker room. I feel like we're really bonded. We really enjoy each other's company, and we love to compete with each other and against each other. We always try to find ways to make each other better, but at the end of the day, it's all about the team. It's all about embracing each other, committing to those relationships, and, hoping that those kind of things pay off on the field. And so I think anytime you have our quarterback, who's kind of leading the charge, embracing everybody around him, it makes it easy for everybody else to kind of follow that suit.
Tyron, we appreciate you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I believe you have Cole Hardman coming up. Okay, McCall, are you ready for us?
Mic check, yep. Mic check 1, mic check 2.
Yep, it works. Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Nicole, congrats on the win. I tend to think that you probably were waiting a long time this year for this type of game. What did it mean to you to perform that way against the Jets?
I think I had a good game. I still had 2 drops. The only thing is I could have had a better game, And that's the only thing I'm really thinking about. I think Pat did a good job today of, throwing the ball around. He had a good game as well. All the receivers, I think we did everything well. I think it was a good team win today. I can't just think about my performance. Pat threw the ball and break spots when he catch. I just had to, catch the ball and do what I had to do with it. But I think I was satisfied with it.
Go next to Matt McCall. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Nicole, can you just walk us through your touchdown there on the first drive?
The flip pass. I don't know, man. I think it was just blocked up very well. I just had to. I had to score on that play. That's how I blocked up. How well they blocked it up. And, I think Coach Reid did a good job of calling in the right situation, and I just had to get in his zone. Shoot, I did. So that's all I can say about it.
The next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, McCole, were you expecting this week to be the one where the deep ball came back to the passing game? And Brad, I'll have one quick follow-up.
I mean, I didn't think nothing, but if I had a chance to get a deep ball, definitely was going to take advantage of it. But the way the game played today is kind of more of a nickel and dime game and an intermediate kind of game and take what they give you, so that's what we did.
Next, Herbie Chiopi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, McCole, speaking of taking what they give, that in the first quarter, the fake punt, what was your, from where you were standing, how big was that to set the tone for the game?
I think it was big. I think we've been working on that for, the past week, 2 weeks on that play. And, it's good, to have some plays up your sleeve, especially on special teams. And that definitely give you a good momentum boost, especially the offense coming off. And, everything is a punt and you fake it and you get it. That's just a huge momentum booster. So I'm glad we did that. And so we just, feed off that and just keep playing off the energy that they gave us.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go Harold and then Steve.
McCole, on that blocked field goal, I was just wondering what was going on through your head. Did you try to? Oh, I see all your expression already. But on that blocked field goal, were you trying to lateral it? What was going through your head there, man?
Man, I just wanted to really. The ball died on me. I thought it was going to bounce better than it did. The ball freaking died, man, and I kind of caught it like the end of it, like my pinkies kind of. And once I secured it, it felt like the whole world was around me. So I was like. I ain't say I panicked, but I was like, man, I'm just hold on to the ball, man. If I can score. And I know I heard somebody say pitch it, but I think I was spinning. I don't know if I was spinning or what I was doing. I couldn't see nobody at all. And I'm like, man, I'm just going into the half, man, and never see another day.
Adam, you had a follow-up. I think I want to cut you off there. Go ahead, Adam. Try now there. There you go.
Okay, we good?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about that block field goal recovery you made. Are you out there much on field goal block, number one? And if not, why were you out there this time?
Yeah, I'm out there. I'm on the right side. Yeah, I'll be on the right side.
All right. I'll come with that.
And we'll go last to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, what's up, McCole? Byron has been placed on kick return and what now seems to be his role. So you only have to worry about return and punt return and receiver. How has narrowing your role on this team helped you to flourish over these past couple weeks?
I guess it's just some, like you said, a little less to focus on. You really got to focus on it, but I can go back there anytime. I think so. Anytime, just say go back there and return a kick. So I still got to be ready for that. I got to be in tune with the game plan, on what we have on kickoff return. So I'm very much into it, and it does, take your focus off that a little bit. You can focus more on receiver or punt return. But like I said, I can go back there anytime, But I think Pringle doing a great job. I think Pringle, I think he deserves a shot to be back there anyway. And as you can see, he's running the ball pretty hard, and he scored the first time he touched it. He could have had another one today, So I think he fit to be back there. Big body man with some speed. I love it every time I see him catch the ball. I'm definitely standing up, hoping he take it back to the crib.
Well, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us. Got Patrick Mahomes coming up next. Hey, Patrick, are you ready for us?
Howdy.
Howdy. We could start first with Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick. It seems like a few times this year we've been talking to you about it, sort of accepting the fact that maybe the stats aren't always going to be there, whether it's the way your defense is playing, whether other defenses are defending you. I guess just what did it feel like today to sort of be able to open up? And I know you don't check the stats all the time, but still to feel like you were having a big day out there pretty consistently.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to go out there and score touchdowns and do all that different type of stuff. But we've kind of been saying it all year long is we have a lot of ways that we can beat teams. And today they were doing a good job of kind of stuffing up the run, and we took it to the air and threw the ball and made plays happen that way. And so now that you kind of see it, that we can throw the ball in teams, we can run the ball in teams, and it's about taking what's there and finding the best way to win a football game.
Next to Dave Scretta. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Patrick, I was just curious what went into that touchdown celebration with Tyreek, and it actually looked like you tried to give him a ride on his first one also, and maybe didn't make it quite as far.
No, the first one I was just trying to get him out of the stands. I'm just because he went up there and I don't know the rules on that, but I know it's not probably the best thing to do. So I was trying to get him back down, and then the second one it looked like he was a little dinged up. So I mean he made a great play on the ball, and I got him over there, and luckily he ended up being fine. So we was having fun out there.
Go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Patrick, this might be the last time we get you before Election Day on Tuesday. I know how much you have dedicated just to getting people out and making it eligible for them to use their vote. What would you say to them as we round on turn?
Yeah, I would say just finish the job. Go out there, vote, use your voice. No matter where you live, no matter who you're voting for, use your voice and do whatever you think's best for you, this country, and your family.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, you've talked about how patient you've had to be this year, but did you have a feeling after watching video of the Jets and knowing how Greg Williams plays defense that today was going to be the day that some things opened up down the field for you?
I wouldn't say that necessarily. I think he does a good job of stopping the run. I think if you watch this entire season, they've done a good job usually of getting their kind of cornerbacks and linebackers in there and stopping the run. So I knew there would be some opportunities to me to make some throws. And I thought the Dukes did a good job of finding the open spaces and zones. And so it's good to be able to do this, have a game like this, going into another great opponent next week, and kind of show that we can do multiple things, not just one.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Go, Pete.
Hey, Patrick, congrats on the win. Andy had mentioned that there were some RPOs built in today. It certainly felt like maybe there were more, and you had a tendency to throw a little bit more than you were running today. Just what were you seeing out there?
Yeah, just the kind of the alignments of defenders. They were really focused on stopping the run, which they did a good job of doing. We have to obviously try to be better there. But they were coming down fast, and the guys were getting open in space, and I was putting it in their hands. And I think the biggest thing was he kept calling those plays. He kept giving me the option to do run or throw the pass. And I think when you do that, it really puts a lot of stress on the defense.
Go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick, 5 touchdown passes today. Which one was your favorite?
My favorite was probably the last one, just because I got a check to it, and we've been working on that check for a while, and we got the look that we liked, and we're able to check and make the play happen. So I would say that was that one or the underhand one. I mean, the underhand one's sweet, man. Every time I get that opportunity to do that, I try to take advantage.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Patrick, I'm just wondering if there's a different feel for you halfway through this season than in the two previous, and if so, what that feeling might be about yourself and how the team is playing right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say a different feel. The thing to me that I've learned from in my experiences is that we have the team that can go get whatever we want to get. Going into the last few seasons, you haven't had that Super Bowl championship, so you don't know for sure. You think you do, but you don't know for sure. And I know that we have the players in this locker room, and now it's about the effort that we put in every single day and the really grind of every single day, not taking anything for granted. That's what it's going to take, and I think we have the leaders in this room to try to make a run at it.
Go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick, I'm curious about your perspective from the sideline of the fake punt, and also just how important was that to keeping that drive going, and also what's your critique on the throwing skills of Tommy Townsend?
No, I thought it was sweet, man. He ripped that thing. It wasn't no like lollipop at all. I mean, he caught it and ripped it over there. So it was pretty impressive. I actually didn't know it was happening. I was trying to go for it, and Coach Reid was. I should have known by the way he just kind of threw. He said, "Just go ahead." Like he said the special teams out there, and I was like, "Man, you're not going to even think about it." And I guess he already had things planned ahead. And I think Tobe does a great job, and he has for a very long time of having different tricks and different ways to execute at a high level for that special teams group. And it gave us a chance to have another play, and we were able to score on it. It was a big point in the game.
Got time for three more. We'll go Sam, Todd, and then Vahe. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick, I mean this with no disrespect to the Jets, right? But their record is what they are. I'm just curious, do you judge the offense's performance a little bit differently against this opponent than you would, the Ravens or a team that you expect to see in January?
I don't. I mean, if you look at this defense and how they played this year, I mean, they might not have won any games, but they're in games and they're competing and they're doing their job. I mean, they're a team that has a lot of talented players, and when we went out there and we had to execute at a high level, and you have to do that in this league. You can't take anyone for granted because there's great football players in every single team that you're going to go up against.
Let's go next to Todd Lebo. Go ahead, Todd.
Well, first off, Patrick, what's that when Anthony Sherman caught the underhand pass, they said it was smoked sausage. Do you have a name for it when Travis catches it?
It was called Stampede Right.
Stampede Right. Very nice. And at this point, we're in November, right? And Pittsburgh and Baltimore just played. Pittsburgh pulled it out. They're undefeated. Are you looking at the scoreboard? You scoreboard watch anything like that yet? And if you ever do that, when does that click in?
I think you can't do that. You have to focus on the opponent that you have every single week. Pittsburgh, they won their game. They're undefeated. They're a great football team. And so for us, we just try to win as many games as possible. And if we win them all and we're 15-1 and they're 16-0, they deserve to be the number one seed.
The last one, Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. I assume you've seen Tommy throw before. So did you know he could dish it like that? And just one other part about that play. It's 35-9, the final score, but do moments like that really make a difference, even in a lopsided game like this in the end?
100%. Those moments, especially in the beginning parts of the games, those are huge moments in the game, getting the momentum in your favor and getting things going and putting points on the board. That changes the whole entire game. Obviously it was a big play, and I've seen Tommy throw, but you never know until someone gets under pressure how they're gonna perform. And he's done a great job of punting the ball and a great job of throwing it so far.
Patrick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Bradley. Anyone know where my mask is? Where did I put it? I got it.
Holy smokes.
You got it.
All right. All right, Tommy, are you ready for us?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We will get started with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Tommy, congrats on the win. Play comes in for the fake. Just what was going through your mind and how easy was it to fire off that pass?
Running out there, of course, I'm pumped if we have the opportunity to run a fake. But yeah, I got out there. We got the look we wanted. And from then on, I was just thinking, just don't baby, get it out there to him. Just like I've been doing, all week, past couple weeks in practice, I guess. And I got out to Pringle. He made a nice catch and got a couple yards.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Tommy, were you at least were you a bit concerned though when the ball seemed to go high, because Pringle had to make the adjustment and jump up there? So I was wondering, what was your reaction when you saw the ball going high?
I wasn't, like I said, I guess wasn't too concerned. Pringle's a great athlete. He's got great hands, and luckily, it was in a good enough spot for him to catch, and like I said, get a few yards. But I wasn't too worried. Like I said, we've been practicing it the past couple weeks, and we've been executing it great. So I was pretty confident going into that.
Go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Tommy, I'm curious if you were exactly when the last time you threw a pass in a football game was, whether it was high school or something like that. People are picking you apart on Twitter, man. They say your stance was a little wide. Maybe you threw baseball more recently. When was the last time you threw something?
The last pass in the game was probably like freshman year of high school or something like that. After freshman year, I played a lot of corner and safety, and yeah, that was about it. But I did play baseball throughout high school. But yeah.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
I apologize. I had bad form on that.
Tommy, I just wanted to get your reaction to Patrick's reaction of you throwing the football. Clearly, reigning MVP, Super Bowl league MVP. Just what was it like to get congratulations from him?
Yeah, of course. It's awesome. We have lockers right next to each other, so I can't help but say that it rubbed off a little bit onto me on that throw. But it's pretty cool anytime you get recognition from Pat and some of these leaders and big name guys on the team, especially as a rookie. It's really something cool,
All right, guys, we got time for a couple more before we get Tommy out of here. We're going to go Matt, Derek, and then Mitchell. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Tommy, I'm curious about the play call coming in. How much warning did you get that that play call was going to be coming on? And did you know that, you said you mentioned a couple of times this, you worked on it a few times the last couple of weeks. Did you know that for certain that this was probably going to go into the game sometime today?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we'd been practicing it in certain parts of the field. And, going into that punt, I knew we were in that, I guess, area to run that fake, and checked with Coach Toe before we went out for the punt, and got the call and went out there, got the look, and just went for it.
We'll go to Mitchell with the last one. Go ahead, Mitchell.
Hey, Tommy, if you could compare what it's like to see a ball going from your hands and then seeing Patrick Mahomes, the way he's throwing the ball, how would you compare the two?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, he has one of the strongest arms in the league, and I don't know. I was just thinking, just get it out there to him. So I'd like to check the velo on both of our passes and compare them. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay, Tommy, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, guys, that's all we've got for today. We will have coaches press conference tomorrow. We'll